Hello, my name is Becca and I'm happy to have you on my channel. Today we will be taking a recap of days 4 and 5 of the reading challenge, The Unfair Advantage, written by Ashley and Hasan Kubba. If you haven't seen the previous day's recap, I will leave the link somewhere. Just look for it and ensure you catch it. Thank you. So today's allotted pages will be displayed on the screen. There you go for today's allotted pages, and it's actually chapter 3 titled Success is Both Hard Work and Luck. And as usual, we'll go through a bit of recap. We'll basically run through chapter 3. Come with me. Welcome to chapter 3. Success is both hard work and luck. Work like hell, says Elon Musk. Luck enters into everybody's life, says Warren Buffett. Do you believe that? You see, rich people got rich through hard work. Rich people deserve their riches. They earned their financial success. And that can be tagged as meritocracy, right? On the other hand, we have another statement saying rich people got rich through random events outside of their control. It's all about luck, timing, natural talents, and fate. The financial success is on and fatalism. Now, this is what Ash, Ali, and Hasan Kubba are trying to say. There are two leading narratives or mindsets when it comes to a definition or an explanation of the title of this chapter, Success is Both Hard Work and Luck. Some people believe that it is by your hard work, smart work, whatever you call it, anything you're doing at all to ensure that your work is done. It is by it. It is by the level of commitment, the level of investment, the level of the time and energy, resources that you put into what you do that determines the outcome, what you will get eventually. However, some other people, on the other hand, feel, okay, you can do all of these things and still not make it. So definitely you need a bit of luck. You need a lot of luck. You need some things to happen to you that you didn't even plan for. A lot of these things that make you successful are things that you're not even ready for. They are things you didn't plan. They were not in your plan, but it just happened. So it's not something you have control over. So basically, I feel it's something you have control over based on your plan of hard work. And maybe just sitting somewhere, crossing your leg and hoping that some random event will take you off your feet and make you a billionaire, the most successful guy around, So basically, these are two school of thoughts that I would say. And moving on, they are saying, I'm reading from the highlighted part, you have read how both hard work and luck played vital roles in both of our entrepreneurial journeys. We both worked extremely hard, but at the same time, we also got very lucky. We were brought up in stable, loving families in a wealthy, developed country with excellent education system, a free national health service, and some safety nets to take risks. Okay, they believe in the combination of both. So there are two schools of thought and they believe in both. Moving on, they say, so luck doesn't have to be the type of privilege that Evan Spiegel had. In fact, it's also possible that you have the odds stacked really bad against you and still come out a success. A prime example of luck, though her story may not seem lucky at all, is Oprah Winfrey. And they went ahead to tell us the story of Oprah Winfrey. I'm sure you know this story, how she grew up in this very bad environment, how all the odds were against her, how her mother preferred her sister over her because her sister had a lighter skin color, how she had to sleep outside of their home and her mother and sister would sleep inside, because her mother was working as some sort of living maid for a white family. And it goes on and on of how she was abused as a child, and she gave birth to a dead baby. A lot of those stories, it. So she had all of the odds against her, right? However, there was something about her childhood that stood out. The fact that she grew up with her grandmother who had taught her how to read the Bible at a very young age. At a very young age, she could recite the Bible verses really. And when taken to church. She became a center of attraction, so to say, for lack of a better statement. People were always looking forward to Oprah saying something in the church. There's a way she recites the Bible verses with so much audacity, and that sort of stood out for her as a talent, because as young as she was then, she had the power to speak. She had the public speaking skill, and that was one thing she capitalized on. Beyond that, even during her childhood, she was exposed to reading, access to the library, and that became her own unfair advantage. So despite all the odds, despite all of the issues she had, the fact that she could, do some fair public speaking stood out for her. But where did all of this start? Hard work and hours put in practicing, yes, but also pure luck. That she was born with such phenomenal abilities and a strong inclination to develop them. So that made her to stand out. She stood out. So we say, again, not everyone is born with such charisma, with such abilities, that her grandmother had helped her to grow. However, if we look deeply into ourselves, we'll be able to find that unfair advantage that we've got. So despite all of the odds against us, there is always one thing that we can hold on to. There is also an example on this same page about Tiger Woods and how his father was able to identify his talent very early on. At a very tender age, he was able to do so much more beyond his age, things that some adults couldn't achieve. So what do we call this? Unfair advantage? Yes. So they've gone ahead to introduce to us the 10,000 hours rule, or the 10,000 hours, is it rule now? Whatever you call it, simply means that if you practice for 10,000 hours, if you practice a particular skill for 10,000 hours, then you will become an expert at it. Have you heard about this before? Have you done it before? I would quickly read through some of the places I have highlighted as major takeaways. Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest people in the world and the most successful investor in history, credits his success to a lot of luck and innate talent. He says, "I've had a lot of luck just being born in the United States in the 1930s. He believes that this is his own luck. He says, "Just in my own case, I was born in the 1930s with two sisters that have every bit the intelligence and drive, but didn't have the same opportunities. If being black, my future would have been entirely different. If I would have been female, my future would have been entirely different." So, Warren Buffett is one of the wealthiest people in the world and the most successful investor in history, and he's crediting his success to luck. He says, "I was born in the 1930s, and if anything about me had changed, then I wouldn't be here today." He says, "I was born in 1930s, alongside two sisters who didn't have the same opportunity as I did. If I was born female or born black, I wouldn't be here today." So he acknowledged his unfair advantage. He was born a man. He had other opportunities that females didn't have. He was born white, so he had opportunities that blacks wouldn't have. If we ask the question, did Warren Buffett work hard? Of course he did. He worked hard. He got his 10,000 hours. Yes, he's been practicing over and over again. But then he's acknowledging the fact that, okay, you know what, guys, slow down. I got lucky because I had these privileges around me. If anything had changed, things about me would have changed. Contrast this with the fact that 85% of workers worldwide admitted hating their job when surveyed anonymously. According to a 2017 Gallup poll, many people in the world hate their jobs, the report says. Oh my God. So we are not all fortunate enough to love what we do. Well, like the Warren Buffett and the Oprah Winfreys and the Mark Zuckerbergs, yeah, we're not all lucky to love what we do. Well, I love what I do though, for the records. The key, as we'll discuss later in the book, is to experiment and focus on what will add value to others. That way, you can find something valuable to do. For instance, something you will be paid for, whether through entrepreneurship or through employment, and find fulfillment in that. So it is important that we do what we love, because it is the love that we'll have for whatever we are doing that will fuel us, that will keep us going, even in the hard times, even in days where we don't think that we can progress. Basically, it will keep us going. And somehow this reminds me of Ikigai. Finding your Ikigai. This says, life is too random and arbitrary to balance out and give everyone an equal share. We don't all have the same opportunities. We don't all get what's coming to us. That's why we have to make sure we are compassionate to others and ourselves. If life doesn't always turn out quite as well as we had hoped, the belief that when we work hard, we will definitely make it is a bit dangerous, because as much as you prepare yourself for success, you should prepare yourself for failure. You should prepare yourself for the fact that, okay, this doesn't happen despite all that I'm doing. Because if you keep putting your mind there that, oh, I'm doing so well, so I deserve all the best, I deserve success because I'm so hardworking, and you don't look at leveraging the privileges around you beyond you just working hard, it will hurt you. And I love this particular quote in particular by Alain de Botton. He eloquently put it as, in the Middle Ages in England, when you meet a poor person, that person would be described as an unfortunate. For instance, somebody not blessed by good fortune. Nowadays, particularly where the belief that they are already live in a pure meritocracy is more rampant in the United States, for example. If you meet someone at the bottom of society, they might unkindly be described as a loser. Of course, it means that, oh, you're not working hard enough, because if you had worked hard enough, you won't be this. And it sort of puts pressure on lots of people. It puts pressure because it feels, oh, I'm losing out, I'm a loser, a lot of people are making it, I'm putting in the same amount of dedication, commitment, hard work as my neighbor, and my neighbor is making it, my neighbor is progressing, and I'm here, nothing at all. I have nothing to show for all of the work that I do. So let us strike a balance between believing that hard work pays off and knowing that luck also plays a role. Think of these two mindsets as tools in your mental toolbox. Sometimes you can summon the belief in the power that you have to shape your future, and sometimes you can think about fortune, luck, and fate and be grateful for what you have rather than being disappointed that things don't turn out quite the way you wish. Again, we're back to, two things here basically. We're back to being grateful. Gratefulness is key. Being grateful for all of the things that you have. Just always remember that some people want to be in your shoes, they are not there. I'm not saying settle for less. I'm not saying, oh, appreciate this and just be there. No, remember we said earlier that the goal is traction. The goal is to keep moving. Whether I'm moving by 1 step or 100 steps, just keep moving. Don't stay in a place. Don't be stagnant. The goal is traction, momentum, gain it. But here, however, is to be appreciative of where you are, what you have done so far. It's important. It is important. I can't overemphasize this. Also, we need to understand the fact, according to this book, we've been told that we need to understand that there is a mix of hard work and luck in all of the success stories that we see today. A bit of hard work and luck, and we should understand that. Furthermore, it says it helps us to have compassion and to resist arrogance and a smug feeling of superiority when we do have success. And it also helps us to resist having an inferiority complex and experiencing envy when we see people with more than us. You know how you just see someone that you were both struggling together. I mean, I practically knew when this guy started. We started together at the same time. We did practically the same thing. That's if I didn't even do more than this person, and then this person is progressing and I'm here. Almost at the same point. Almost at the same point. And then I just feel tired of the entire process. I don't believe in myself anymore. I'm giving up. And I'm so sad. I'm envious right now. I feel this guy doesn't deserve it. Or rather, I should have been there. But when we understand that faith, luck, hard work, all of these things put together make up massive success stories like those of the Warren Buffetts, Winfrey's, Zuckerbergs, name them. The world would be a better place, really. So ultimately, we have to bear in mind all the things outside of our control. This is perfectly encapsulated in what has come to be known as the Serenity Prayer. I love this prayer so much. Say it after me. God grants me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Oh Lord, this prayer, I think we should just close. We should end the discussion on this prayer because it is important. It is important to know when to do what. It is important to have an understanding, to have a wisdom of what you can change, what you should leave, what you should accept, what you should kick out, because all of these things make the difference. All of these things can make a whole difference and propel your success story, and I mean it. Ashali and Hasan Kubba asked us this question. How many people do you know who have worked really hard their entire lives and yet are still not free of financial worries? Of course, we know lots of them. We know quite a number. Or on the flip side, how many people do you know who are in the positions of power and success who don't seem to deserve it? There are plenty of incompetent people who have made successes of themselves as well. Of course there are. Finally, they are making a submission on this chapter that success is the combination of an unaccountably large number of factors, moments, and decisions. Honestly, it is. The unfair advantage concept, along with the Miles framework, which will be discussed in chapter 5, don't go anywhere, keep reading until we get there, will help you figure out what to focus on and help map out a path for you to take. More importantly, it can help you decide what actions to take next. Whoa, awesome. They are saying, we want to teach you how to work smart. We want you to work from now on from a position of strength and from a foundation of your unfair advantages in your startup or even in your career. I kept saying this, it's not just about entrepreneurs, even as an individual in your career. Finally, they're saying, in other words, unfair advantages can take many forms and help you at every stage of your career or business path. And knowing about them, developing them, and leveraging them is the most powerful way to work smarter and stock the deck in your favor to succeed. Honestly, what stood out for me today is this Serenity Prayer. That God should grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. I think we can close now. That's all for me. This stood out for me. There is need to know the difference, really. There is need to know what you can change and what you can't change. If you mix it up, it can be disastrous, really. So there is no greater prayer in this chapter than this. What is the question of the day? Have you heard about the concept of 10,000 hours? The 10,000 hours rule. Have you heard about it? Okay, I'm going to tell you. Or should I just leave you to go find out? This is interesting. The 10,000 hours rule was popularized by the best-selling author Malcolm Gladwell. And it simply states that when you spend 10,000 hours at something, you become an expert at it. So now that you know, the next question is, how many hours do you think you have spent on that particular skill that you wish to develop on? That particular skill you want to be known with? How many hours so far have you spent? Think about it. Call to action today is the fact that you should ensure you read up the pages. What we are doing here is just to remind ourselves of the content, and I won't be able to read the entire book, and each chapter, each paragraph, each line is loaded with content, valuable content that I won't be able to repeat here. If not, we'll stay here for hours, So please, I'm pleading, I'm begging that you should ensure that you read this thing so you can contribute. When you come up here, just tell me what you've learned so far, what you've picked from this chapter. And yep, the giveaway is very much available. If you know that you want to have access to the Audible version, that's the audio version on Amazon Audible, Amazon, whatever, reach out to me through the description box. Yeah, you know how to do that. There is a link in the description box through which you can reach me for your copy. Finally, I want to know what you've learned so far from chapter 1 to where we are right now today, chapter 3. Use the comment section below. I love you. Take good care of yourself. Keep reading. Thanks for watching. Till next time, be good.